Okay, grade 8, now we're going to talk about the rate. Remember we did a ratio, and a ratio was a comparison of two or more quantities of the same type. Now we're going to fill something in here when we're done with regards to rate. So a rate is a comparison of two or more numbers or quantities, but the two numbers have different units. They're different. They're no longer the same. Right? So for example, you might have seen this is a very common form of a rate. Say a car travels 60 kilometers in 1 hour. We can say that the car travels 60 kilometers per hour. You might see a speed limit that says no faster than 60 kilometers per hour. So that means that in 1 hour, the car will travel 60 k's. How far will it travel in 2 hours? That's quite easy. If it's traveling 60 kilometers every hour and is doing 2 of them, it will then travel 120 k's. Okay, so that is our rate, kilometers per hour. Okay, let's say now a car travels 80 kilometers in 2 hours. We can say that the car travels 40 kilometers per hour, because in each of those hours, it probably averaged 40 k's. Even if the 1 hour was 41 and the other hour was 39 k's an hour. Okay, a bag of carrots costs 22 rand per kilogram. You might have seen this in the shopping center. That is the same as 22 rand per kilogram. Okay, so how much would 2 kilograms cost? So if we knew that 1 kilogram cost 22 rand, what is 2 kilograms? And that is easy. You can probably work out that that is 44 rand. Okay, how about how much would 0.5 kilograms cost? You again could see that if 1 kilogram costs 22 rand, half the kilograms would cost half the price. So that is 11 rand. But how would we do this in more detail with equations? What if we asked for 0.45 of a kilogram or 0.444 kilograms? We'll deal with that in the next example. An athlete runs 100 meters in 20 seconds. What is the speed in meters per second? So he runs 100 meters in 20 seconds. So how many meters per second does he run? So we say he runs 100 meters per 20 seconds. 100 meters per 20 seconds. So what is his meters per second? Right? To get it to meters per second, we need a whole number here, or not necessarily a whole number, but we need it to be over 1 at the bottom here. So to get this over 1, we go divide by 20. So we say 100 over 20, divide by 20 to get the bottom to 1, and that is equal something over 1. And then we divide by 20 on the top. What's 100 divided by 20? That is 5. So he is going at 5 meters per second. What is his speed in meters per minute? So if he runs 100 meters in 20 seconds, what is his speed in meters per minute? So we're going 100 meters, right, in 20 seconds. How many seconds are there in a minute? You know there's 60. So how far will he go in a minute? You times by 3, and that is equal to 60 seconds over 100 times 3 is 300 meters in 60 seconds, which we know is the same as 300 meters per 1 minute. So you can say that he is going at 300 meters per minute. So this is the important part of a rate question. How long would it take to do 1 kilometer at this speed? Okay, so we know how fast he's running. We know he's running at 5 meters per second. So how many seconds will it take to run 1,000 meters? Because we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters, right? And we know that he's going at 5 meters per second. So what is 1,000 divided by 5? We know that 100 divided by 5 is 20, so that must be 200. So 100 meters per second, we divide that, and that is 200 seconds. So he's going to take 200 seconds Remember that that is meters per second. Sorry, let me redo this. He is going let me just rewrite this because that is meters per second. So this is 1,000 meters over 5 meters per second. The meters cancel each other out. That gave us 200. And divide by divide is equal to a positive or a multiplication. It's the same, and that is, sorry, a 1 over is the same as that number, and that is 200 seconds. Don't stress too much about that unit. So he's going to take 200 seconds, and what's that the same? That's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, let's look at this example to better understand this. A golf cart drives 3.2 kilometers in 10 minutes, and a runner runs 200 meters in 40 seconds. Who is faster? So we're using kilometers and meters and minutes and seconds. What do we know about rate? We have to get them to the same unit type. Well, not type, but the same unit. Well, yes, unit type. They must be the same unit type. So we say 3.2 kilometers to 10 minutes. We divide each side by 3.2. So 3.2 kilometers divided by 10 over 3.2. So 3.2 divided by 3.2 is 1. 10 times 3.2, this is still in minutes. Do not forget that. Right? And there we're going to go. We might have to do our long division here. So we say, what is 3.2 divided by 10? Remember, we're going to move the decimal 1 across to say 32 divided by 100. Remember this. If you're not sure, make sure you watch this video. How many times is 32 going to 100? 3 times. 3 times 32 is 96. 100 minus 96 is 4. We have our decimal here. Remember our decimals here. We can add a whole bunch of zeros if we wanted. We bring a 0 down to make that 40. How many times is 32 going to 40? Once. 1 times 32 is 32. 40 minus 32 is 8. We bring another 0 down to make that a 0. 32 goes into 8 twice. 2 times 32 is 64. 80 minus 64 is 16. We bring the last 0 down to make that a 0. 32, how many times is going to 160? 32 goes into 165 times. Let's just check. 5 times 32. 5 times 30 is 150. 5 times 2 is 10. 150 plus 10 is 160. Brilliant. So that is our answer. 1 kilometer to 3.125 minutes. Okay. Now remember, that's not 3.12 seconds. That's 3.125 minutes. Okay. So let's try the other side now. 200 meters to 40 seconds in 40 seconds. So that's 0.2 kilometers in 40 seconds, because we know that a meter, there's 1,000 meters, like our milliliters example, in 1 kilometer. So we just convert that to kilometers, so we can start off there. We got that. Great. Now we need to get this side, and we need to get that to 1. How do we get this to 1? We go 0.2 divided by 0.2. That's easy. That gives us our 1. What is 40 divided by 0.2? 40 divided by 0.2. Again, we're going to have to go 0.2 into 40. Let's move that 2 across. 2 into 400. Oh, that should be quite easy. 2 into 40 goes 20 times. 2 into 400 goes 200 times. So it's 1 kilometer in 200 seconds. We need to now convert 200 seconds into minutes only. Okay, so we know that 200 seconds is the same as 3 minutes and 20 seconds. But we need to get that into decimals. We can't have the second there. We only want minutes. We know that 20 divided by 60 seconds, because there's 60 seconds in a minute, is 0.333. So we can say that that's 1 kilometer in 3.33 minutes. So which is faster? If you did 1 kilometer in 3 minutes, 0.125, or 1 kilometer in 3.3 minutes. This is clearly the smaller number, so it is much faster. So the golf cart drives faster. Okay, so we did ratio, remember. Now the rate. The rate is a comparison between two numbers, but the numbers can have different, or do have different units. Now we're going to move on to sharing a ratio. Well done, grade 8s.